Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to be talking about the election. Does anybody know who our current president is? Okay, our current president is this man right here. His name is Donald Trump, and he has been in office for 4 years. He's also running in this next election to be elected for another 4 years. Presidents can be elected for 2 terms. A term is 4 years, so they can be president for up to 8 years. An election is the formal and organized choice by vote of a person for political office. So you can have an election for school board officials, mayor, president, city officials. Those are all elections that happen throughout the year. I'm going to write 8 key terms on the board that you need to be looking for while I read this text so you can better understand them, and then you'll complete the worksheet at the end of this lesson. That will also, the key terms will be on there. Okay, so the first key term is going to be rights. Our second key term is going to be register. Our third key term is going to be candidate. Our fourth key term is going to be campaign. Our fifth key term is going to be debate. Our sixth key term is going to be political party. Our seventh key term is going to be platform. And our eighth key term is going to be ballot. As we are reading, we will go over the definitions for these key terms to make sure you're paying close attention. Why do we even vote? Does anybody know? All right. You may not be old enough to vote in the presidential election this year, but someday you will be. When the time comes, it's important to know why voting matters. Voting is one of the most important rights we have in the United States. Rights are freedoms that American citizens have. Again, rights is one of our key words. Let's pay close attention. Rights are freedoms that American citizens have. Rights allow us to make our own choices. For example, Americans have the right to an education, to express our ideas, and to vote for our leaders. When we vote, we are using our voices to tell our leaders our opinions on how we want the government to work. Did you know that in some countries, people do not have the right to vote for their leaders? So just because we have the right to vote in the United States does not mean that other countries have the right to vote for their leaders. It's important to vote when you have the opportunity. It is your chance to help choose the leader of our country. If you do not vote when you have the chance, you're letting others decide how you're going to be governed. So if you don't take the chance to vote for your leaders and officials, then you're not putting your opinion out there. Each state has its own set laws about who can vote. In every state, you must be at least 18 years old to vote. Make sure you're paying close attention to that. We'll have questions later. And you must be a citizen of the United States, and you must live in the state you'll be voting. So I'm an Alabama citizen. I will have to vote in Alabama. I can't go vote in Georgia. In order to vote, you must first register or sign up. So register means to sign up. That's another one of our key words. There is a simple form to complete, and forms are sometimes available online or also at government buildings. After you submit the form, you'll receive a voter registration card in the mail. So once you have been approved to vote and you're registered, you'll receive this card in the mail that basically just says you're able to vote. In the United States, we have a presidential election every 4 years. Election day is in November, and this year it's going to be November 3rd. But a lot happens in the months before when candidates, another one of our key terms, are getting ready for the election. A candidate is a person who is running for an elected position, such as the President of the United States. So any person that is running for an elected position, whether that be in your city or your, a certain state, anything like that, they're going to be candidates. First, candidates declare or announce that they want to be president. Then their campaigns begin. A campaign is the process that candidates go through in order to reach their goal of becoming president. Candidate's another one of our key terms. A presidential campaign includes meeting voters, giving speeches, attending interviews, and putting advertisements on TV, radio, and the internet. During their campaign, candidates travel around the country connecting with voters and sharing their ideas. So the candidate that is running for president, they may come to your city or they may come just to your state. So they travel all over the United States campaigning. Candidates also participate in debates. A debate is an organized discussion or argument about the issues, such as the ways to improve our government and country. Debate's another one of our words, and there was also a debate the other night for this presidential election. In the United States, there are usually several debates on television. That's the one I'm talking about. In the months before the election, debates help voters compare the candidates and understand what the candidates would do as president. So in the debates, the candidates that are running, will go over questions that are asked that we as citizens might want to know for somebody we're electing for president. Debates can make a big difference in the number of voters that support a candidate. A political party, another one of our key terms, is a group of people who have similar ideas about how the country should run. Members of a party work together to persuade voters to elect their candidate. They also work together to influence the government. In the United States, we have two major political parties, that's Democrats and Republicans. Each party stands for something. Each party has set beliefs. Both parties don't normally agree on their set beliefs. They both have different beliefs. Each party has a set of ideas about how the government should work. These ideas are called their platform, another key term. A party's platform is its set of plans that solve problems to run the country. Abraham Lincoln was the first president who was a Republican, and he served from 1861 to 1865. So he served for 4 years. He only served one term. Andrew Jackson was the first president who was a Democrat, serving from 1829 to 1837. So he served 2 terms. So when you go to vote, you're going to vote with a ballot. A ballot is a list of candidates that might be printed on the paper or set up on a special voting machine or computer. So I will have a sample ballot to show you at the end of this, after I get done reading this. Or there also could be a big setup machine that you go in and cast your vote, and it automatically counts it for you. On the last day of the conventions, the party's candidate for the president gives an acceptance speech. Acceptance speech is the speech that is meant to help unite the members of the party and get them all working together. It helps get people energized about the candidate and about the election coming in November. Okay. The Electoral College isn't a school at all. It's a group of people called electors. There are 538 electors from all around the United States, and they are the people who are officially elect our president. When we vote in our communities on Election Day, the actual numbers of votes each candidate receives is called the popular vote. When we vote, we get a ballot. The ballot lists the name of the presidential candidates, and we choose a candidate, but we are actually voting for the electors. The electors have promised to vote for a particular candidate. The number of electors that each state has depends on the number of people who live there. States with more residents have more electors. So if you live in a huge state, you're going to have more electors minus a state that has, only a few people that live there. They may only have one elector. By the end of the election night, we usually know which candidate will be our next president, but the president is not officially elected until the electors cast their votes in December. The presidential inauguration is a ceremony that takes place outside the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. on January 20th. In this ceremony, the president and vice president swear to do their jobs to the best of their abilities and to follow the laws of the United States. The day continues with a parade and concludes with an inaugural ball over the city to celebrate the election of our new president. So that's the last thing that happens once the president is elected. Okay, now I'm going to show you a ballot. This is what a ballot looks like. I'll get a little closer so you can see it. When you go to vote, you're going to be voting for, they all can be different depending on what's going on, but normally it's federal offices, you might have state offices, county offices, school district. So for this coming up presidential election, you will have the federal offices and then everything that goes along with that on your ballot. You may not have, school district and that type of stuff on there. Okay, so now we are going to go over I'm going to go over a few of our key terms and just refresh your memory on them before we do the following worksheet. So rights or freedoms that American citizens have. When you register, you sign up for something. Candidate is the person who is running for an elected position, such as the President of the United States, and that's what we're currently talking about in this presidential election. A campaign is the process that candidates go through in order to reach their goal of becoming president. A debate is an organized discussion or argument. The older you get, when you get into high school, you may have a debate in your classroom where you talk, openly about your political thoughts. A political party is a group of people who have similar ideas about how the country should run. A platform is set ideas on how the government should work, and a ballot is what you use to vote. The ballot will have a list of the candidates on there. You pick it, and that's how we vote. Okay, what are some facts? I'm going to erase this, and we're going to go over some facts that we learned in our reading. Okay, so the first fact that we're going to go over is how often does the election happen? It happens every 4 years. Okay, so the election happens every 4 years. What's another one? How old do you have to be to vote? All right, that's right. We have to be 18 years old to vote. What's another fact? Do you have to be a U.S. citizen, or could you be from another country and come in and vote? That's right. We have to be a U.S. citizen. Okay, and how many political parties do we have? Do we have 2 or do we have 4? How many do we have? That's right, we have 2 political parties. Okay, so that's just a little refresher before we move on to our worksheet. Is everybody good? Thumbs up or thumbs down? All right, I see a lot of thumbs up. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to pass out a worksheet, and it's going to have vocab and key terms on there, and you're going to match them. You're going to circle and match it with the correct definition. Once you're done with that sheet, flip it over on your desk, and then I will come around to pick them up, okay? Thumbs up, thumbs down. All right, thank you.